When it comes to the late night talk show, there are many reasons why Conan O'Brien's is considered the best. His style of comedy is timeless, making for consistently great interviews, sketches, and monologues. But perhaps one of the best things to come out of his time on air was his remote segments. Recorded off stage, these videos had Conan doing just about anything the writing team thought could be cool or funny. In one episode, he checks out his wax figure and trolls its visitors. In another, he joins up with Civil War reenactors and trolls them too. While some of these remotes are scripted, it is the unscripted ones that truly allow Conan to shine, putting him in environments with regular people and seeing how they react to his antics. Between Conan's unpredictability and his often reluctant targets, these candid segments were always sure to be funny. But while Conan has interacted with a variety of people, this dynamic had no greater success than when it was done with the one and only Jordan Schlanksy. Hello, I am Lufa, and at first sight, Jordan might appear like a normal employee. In his first appearance when Conan visits Lucasfilm, he's only on camera for a few moments. Introduced as a producer and resident Star Wars expert, Conan explains that Jordan has some problems with the office's Darth Vader suit. When prompted, Jordan simply makes a correction about the suit, explains his reasoning about it, and that's all. He's simply there to point out a mistake, which Conan uses to give the tour guide a hard time. Jordan's debut is humble and brief, a stark contrast from what he would soon become. Because in the next remote, Conan informs us that there has been a controversy surrounding the office. Employees have been complaining about that same producer purchasing an espresso machine and only allowing a select few people to use it. When Conan decides to enter Schlansky's office, we get a closer look at him and can already tell that something is off. His office is a jumbled mess full of office supplies, wine, and lotion, yet he conducts himself with an attitude of complete seriousness. Jordan's expression is plain, and he doesn't seem very embarrassed about the purchase at all. When Conan confronts him about the mess, he barely addresses it, instead choosing to stare forward like he's being unfairly persecuted. What follows is one of Jordan's first ever arguments with Conan.
You have an espresso machine here.
There is an espresso machine here.
What's the difference between what you said and what I said?
I don't have it.
Pardon me?
I don't have it. It's here. Doesn't mean I have it.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
I use it, but I don't have it. Have it implies that I own it. I don't own it.
Oh, you don't own it?
No, I don't own it.
Who purchased the machine?
You actually own it. You purchased everything in this office.
I did?
Yes.
Did I buy you this Italian almond biscotti?
No, that was free.
This is a free biscotti?
Yes, biscotto.
Pardon me?
It's a biscotto.
Biscotti.
That would be if there was more than one. There's only one.
This brief interaction is hilarious. Jordan manages to take zero accountability while Conan just stares in shock at what he's seeing. Talking to the host of the show you work for like this is unheard of, but Jordan does it without hesitation, as if it's a completely natural thing for him to do. The argument shows three things about Jordan. First of all, Jordan is socially awkward. He refuses to make eye contact and mutters the majority of his words. Second, Jordan is a bad employee. He used company money to purchase an espresso machine without permission and then went on a power trip only allowing the people he liked to use it. Thirdly, Jordan is bold, as he speaks to Conan in a way that could definitely get him fired were his boss not so lenient. His vague position as associate producer makes this defiance even more bizarre, not being able to clearly describe what he does, yet still acting just as self-important.
Jordan, quick question. What are your responsibilities on this show?
I have various duties. My title is associate producer.
It's the greatest non-answer I've ever heard. Various duties, and this is my title. Care to come clean? What is it you do?
I have various production-related tasks.
If you use the word various one more time, I'm having you arrested. What is your job?
Associate producer.
What do you do when you come in to work?
Varies from day to day.
It is this nerve, as well as his awkwardness and position at the office, that makes his dynamic with Conan so hysterical. Because as you'll see in this next remote, Conan returns to Schlansky's office again, this time early to confront him about how late he shows up to work. While most employees are expected to come in at 9:30, Jordan has earned a reputation for coming in well past noon. At the start of the segment, Conan is already visibly irritated, still agitated from the last segment's events. Even though Jordan has yet to show up, it's as if he's already expecting bad news. When Jordan finally clocks in 30 minutes later, he does the same old dance he did with the coffee machine.
It's come to my attention that you like to drift in late on Fridays.
Okay. Well, I work later on Fridays than a lot of people. And I feel like I'm able to adequately accomplish what I need to in the time that I'm here. I've prepared my daily task ahead of me already.
Your daily task? What's your daily task? To pour olive oil into a Kaiser roll? Is that your daily task? May I ask you, Jordan, what you were doing this morning?
Well, I woke up, immediately had a protein shake. I've been experimenting with oats and whey.
Experimenting with oats and whey?
Well, I was trying to avoid synthetic maltodextrin, which is derived from corn, and I had read that oats is a good source of complex carbohydrates when mixed with whey.
Can I ask you a quick question? Are you wearing your sunglasses while you're making the shake?
Would you like me to remove them?
What do you think would be the human thing? You've studied humans on our planet for a while.
Happy to remove them if it makes you more comfortable.
Okay. You got up, you had your whey and oat shake, then what?
Then I prepared my body in various ways. I cleaned it, shaved it.
As you can tell, Jordan is a master of deflection. He answers Conan's questions with elaborate rants and irrelevant answers, all the while showing no shame for leeching off the company. And this is where Conan's part of the dynamic comes into play. Normally for Conan, trolling someone is gonna have its natural limits. A joke or two will always be fine, but he's never gonna do anything that could actually be considered malicious. Like with the other remotes, Conan could be a little rough, but at the end of the day, he will always be respectful and keep things light because nobody deserves anything else. But with Jordan, you see, Jordan is different. He's a snob, and a phony one at that. He's that guy at the office who acts condescending but is ridiculous himself. He's obsessed with Italy's superiority, yet considers the American Star Wars to be perfection. He frequently corrects people and rambles about his lifestyle as if it were peak human evolution. Combine that with his other traits and he is the perfect target for Conan's trolling.
I'd like to help you be on time from now on. I think that would be good for you, so we have some devices that might help. Would this be helpful to you, this clock?
I don't see how.
You could have this at home and it would tell you what time it is, and then you would know I should probably get to work.
My lack of awareness of the time is not responsible for the hour that I arrive in the office.
I'd like you to hang this one in the office, and I'd like you to strap this one to your Vespa. You'll be sort of the Italian douchebag Flava Flav. I also want you to know that you're being monitored at all times by this camera. I will constantly be monitoring that camera to make sure that one of my workers is a real busy bee. Buzz, buzz. This is a good old-fashioned time card. You are to punch in and punch out every day. I've had this machine brought back. Would you like to check in?
Yes. I don't think the device works.
Try again. You have to put it in the very center. You know how I knew it was the very center?
No.
I've worked for a living.
While all this might seem overboard for your average employee, when it comes to Jordan, the punishment feels more than deserved. Installing a camera in his office is absurd, but Jordan takes himself too seriously to see the humor of the situation, and that makes viewers want to see him be humbled even more. The contrast between Conan's over-the-top management and Jordan's funeral-esque attitude is hilarious. Audiences absolutely loved moments like these, because Jordan Schlanksy was like no one they had seen before. In fact, Jordan's segments were so popular that Conan ended up taking him coffee tasting, all for him to act just as stubborn.
We're here at Intelligentsia Coffee with my friend Jordan Schlanksy. Now, Jordan, you consider yourself a bit of a coffee expert, do you not?
I enjoy coffee.
You enjoy coffee, and you enjoy coffee to the point that you purchased with show money a espresso maker. Is that right? And had it placed near your office?
It was a reasonable purchase.
Reasonable purchase, but you didn't ask me first.
It's not out of line with the normal status quo of the office.
Did you ask me first?
No.
Anyway, we've established the point that Jordan stole from me and bought an espresso machine. That's how much he loves coffee. This gentleman right here is Sam. Is that right, Sam?
Yep.
Sam, good to see you.
Yeah, right.
What does intelligentsia mean? Is it an Italian word?
It's an old political party during the wars.
I see. Do you know Italian?
It's not an Italian word.
Okay. All right, but do you know what it means, intelligentsia?
I was just told it was an old political party during the war.
You being a wise ass with me right now? That's what he just said.
That's why I was told.
Don't with me, all right? I'll take that coffee machine away from you and I will stuff it down your pants. I will turn on that espresso machine, get it going with hot liquids, and I will shove it down the front of his pants and watch it cook his scrotum.
Through all of Conan's heckling, Jordan keeps the same poker face, and it just shows how seriously he takes himself. He just refuses to give Conan the satisfaction of a smile. It's like Batman and the Joker.
That's a coffee from Guatemala.
That's a Guatemalan bean. You like a Guatemalan bean?
I expect it's 100% Arabica. That's the trend today in most modern coffee shops, although traditionally speaking, the espresso in Italy was a combination of Arabica and Robusta. And the problem with single origin is that often there's one flavor profile.
So, for your perfect cup of coffee, Jordan, what do you want to taste?
Yeah, what's your perfect cup of coffee?
My underlying flavor profile is chocolate.
Isn't that called cocoa? Isn't that what kids drink? Why don't you just have a cup of cocoa in the morning?
What you're saying is not logically sound. I'm
Why?
talking about a flavor profile of chocolate within coffee.
At this point, with all of the context of Jordan's past remotes, everything he does just gets funnier. Whenever the audience sees him mentioned next to his picture, they freak out because they already know that something good's in store. Even celebrity guests like Jeff Goldblum have heralded Jordan Schlanksy as one of the most brilliant things they've ever seen.
Along with, I've seen every single Schlansky.
Oh my God.
Every single Schlansky. Really? Really?
No,
I laugh out loud over and over again.
With Jordan being a snob and snob time again, this is clearly just the way he always is. But is it? Can someone like Jordan Schlanksy be real? Perhaps he was a character that was written or writes his lines. Surely someone this serious, yet hilarious, can't be real. Well, according to IMDb, Jordan is not playing a role, but instead being featured as himself. And in one of Conan's monologues, he says that that's really him. But still, that can't be enough to prove he isn't acting. There have been many characters used in television before that have been sworn up and down to be real in order to keep a joke going. These characters are scripted, but the audience is led to believe otherwise for the sake of entertainment. Just think fake reality TV. One of the characters that comes to mind is Nathan Fielder. Nathan is the lead of shows Nathan For You and The Rehearsal. Similar to Jordan, Nathan is awkward, strange, but above all, doesn't seem like he could possibly be real. In Nathan For You, he does elaborate and ethically questionable things that can't possibly be legal or practical. In one episode, he hires 40 maids to clean a house in 6 minutes, and another creates a promotion for a $1 TV that conveniently has a crocodile placed in the way. But while these schemes might seem unbelievable, the hardest part of the show for viewers to come to terms with is often Nathan himself. Described as the wizard of loneliness, he bears little to no social skills and frequently creates incredibly uncomfortable situations due to his personality. With one of the most egregious ones I can remember being when he kept asking an actor to say, "I love you," clearly taking it to heart.
I love you.
Again.
I love you.
Again.
I love you.
Again.
I love you.
Again.
This scene was so painful to watch that it must have been when a lot of people decided that Nathan can't be real. Well, of course Nathan is playing a character, as he is listed as an actor, writer, and director, and has also confirmed it himself. While the role might be under his name, and consistent even on social media, at the end of the day it is just a character. The difference with Jordan Schlanksy, though, is that there is no confirmation that he's acting. If anything, there's more confirmation for the opposite. According to his episode on the Conan Needs a Friend podcast, Jordan really was an employee who was hired in 1994 as an intern. While he was used as an extra for a sketch here and there, he did legitimately work and produce for the show for years, with his first segment not airing until 2007. No one gets hired for 13 years for a secret role, unless they are in some sort of experimental Truman Show, but this is Conan. I don't think that's what they're going for. And as Conan himself explains it, Jordan was already known for being a snob long before the segments began. He didn't need a camera on him to explain the intricacies of Italian espresso because that was just who he was. It wasn't until the 2007 writer's strike began that producer Frank Smiley suggests Jordan be filmed.
We started using you on the show, and when I say using you, I mean featuring you as a personality because you're so unusual. I think it was Frank Smiley. I'll give Frank Smiley the credit. Frank Smiley, longtime producer on our show, said, Jordan's fascinating. We need to get him on camera. I thought that was kind of immoral, in a way, to take advantage of someone with your limitations and exploit you, but Frank was determined, and we did, and so I also blame Frank for empowering you. Frank's here, by the way. Frank, well, do you remember Jordan worked on the show, and then you one day said, we got to get this guy on camera?
Well, I mean, it was an easy softball for you to hit out of the park every time.
Because we had this relationship, and it wasn't being recorded.
Yes, it was, the relationship that people see in these remotes was basically going on in the office every single day.
Yes. And people think, oh, is this an act? No, it's not an act because it was going on for several years before you even thought to put this on camera.
That's right. It was during the writer's strike when we were desperate for
material that didn't need any writing.
Yes.
You just needed me and Jordan in a room together, and stuff would start to happen.
So there it is. Jordan was a regular worker who was filmed because of their real life dynamic. No one could have written a script about a Jordan Schlanksy character because there were no writers to. Still though, something isn't quite adding up. If Jordan is really being himself, how come he breaks character? You see, in one of the most legendary remotes of Conan history, he and Jordan plan a trip to Italy. This is a real trip they went on and filmed multiple segments for, showing us how Jordan behaves in his favorite country. But before they began, the pair decided to film the planning of their trip. And it is in this remote that Jordan unexpectedly breaks into a smile.
Oh my God. I remember this photo. Remember when this was the cover of Douche Weekly? What are you laughing at?
What are you laughing at?
I'm not laughing.
You're absolutely laughing.
The way you started to laugh was insane. You don't even know how to show. You don't know how to show.
Insane.
You don't know how to show basic
There's
human
nothing
emotions.
different right
you
now.
didn't know what to do, and so a weird Joker smile came on your face, and then
That's just
the
my
next thing you know,
face.
it's not. That's no
That's
face.
biological.
No, you don't know.
You're dissecting my. Look at
you're
your face.
insane.
Look at your face.
I am a face that is adored worldwide. You're the monster.
Like a true professional, Conan keeps the bit going, but the message is clear. Jordan is acting. And several more times on the trip, Jordan breaks, perhaps due to being filmed for an extended time, making it harder to stay serious. Conan, though, still refuses to give up the bit, suggesting that these moments are just the result of Jordan being on drugs or drunk. But this no doubt only causes him to unravel more. Like when your teacher told you weren't supposed to laugh, but your friend looked at you like this. It's an incredibly rewarding moment for fans who have watched Jordan act serious for years, and just as funny as when any other actor breaks. Besides that, there is a less interesting take, and that is that the mystery is revealed by Harrison Ford. In another podcast, while Conan and his crew keep up the charade like usual, Harrison makes it clear that in a segment where he destroyed Jordan's Millennium Falcon, it was in fact a scripted bit, to which Conan and his gang boo him for ruining the fun. However, just like the evidence that Jordan is real, this conclusion leaves one wanting. Jordan was still a legitimate producer for years, so how did he get dozens of remotes made around him, even long into 2022? Frank said he was shot because there were no writers to write any scripts. Yet in moments like these, he clearly breaks character, as if he's going off script. And what about the claims that their dynamic was going on for years, even long before the camera started filming? Well, while the answer might not be explicitly said, I have a theory that I believe is quite close to the truth. So after all this back and forth on Jordan, I'll try and put things into a clear explanation. Jordan was a real employee, who was initially filmed candidly due to the writer's strike. But after the success of his original improvised segment, he took his personality and started to play it up. Maybe, even though he was a producer, being around Conan for over a decade had given him some knowledge about good improv. So Jordan decided to lean into his flaws for comedy, an ironically humble thing to do. He was willing to be made fun of and make fun of himself because he knew it was good TV. Everything that Jordan does originates from his real personality. His cluttered room, love for Italy, and even questionable job title are all based on real-life traits. But he exaggerates these characteristics to make it funnier for TV, and the result is someone who's so funny that people can't believe he's real. Perhaps most of the workday his personality is the same, but less magnified. However, once the camera starts rolling, Jordan knows what the people want. And sometimes he gets so far into this character of himself that he can't help but laugh at the predicaments he's put himself into. Like when he breaks because he realizes how deep he is in his own BS.
Notes of fruit, cherry and black fruit.
I don't concentrate on the fruit, I concentrate on the earth, and I smell a forest. I mean, I feel like I'm lost in the woods right now. Yeah, it's damp, like when you're walking in the woods and maybe it rained.
Wet soil?
It's damp.
You mean wet soil?
Well, not even the soil, but like if there's like moss on a branch, you step on it.
You're trying to say something.
It's sottobosco in Italian, yeah?
Can I say under the fart?
Anyone will break when forced to stare at Conan or explain how a wine smell makes you feel like you're lost in the woods. But it doesn't matter because regardless of his background or how good he plays the part, Jordan is one of the most memorable parts of Conan O'Brien's show. Hundreds of thousands of fans regard him not as just their favorite Conan personality, but television personality. Updates on him are constantly requested, and he's been featured in over 50 segments. Although it was unplanned, Jordan and Conan's dynamic was instant chemistry. But more impressive, it stood the test of time for dozens of remotes. One of my favorite segments was filmed just over 9 months ago, with a now bearded Jordan arguing with Conan about his due compensation for the sketches we were just talking about. It's truly awesome and impressive to see how these guys keep on finding ways to build on their dynamic, with the humor of it aging like fine wine. Jordan Schlanksky's remotes are something that could only happen in an environment where improv is encouraged, and the person being filmed is cool enough to be themselves. It almost makes me sad that television programs like SNL and other late night shows are going out of style. While their formats might seem outdated now, they certainly had their moments, and I'm sad to see them go. But what do you think about Jordan? Do you have any favorite moments? Let me know in the comments. If you made it this far, I want to thank you for watching and encourage you to check out some of the other videos on my channel. My goal is to get a YouTube play button and put it right here through making videos about anything I find interesting. So if you like this video, watching more would really support me. Either way, I hope you have a good day. I'm Lufa. Be real.